Aloha everyone, welcome to part 1 of my Showered with Love series. The products I'll be featuring in this series is the Under My Umbrella bundle and the Frosted and Clear Epoxy Droplets. With Love series, we're going to start our first card using a pre-scored Whisper White note card with envelope. I'm going to take my bone folder and score it so it's nice and flat, and then I'm going to start by putting a top layer on here. We're going to use Balmy Blue cardstock. This has been cut at 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and I ran this through the Beads and Baubles embossing folder. Now there is a really distinct pattern on there, so you want to make sure you line it up straight. Then you'll run it through the Big Shot and you'll have this really cute pattern on there. Now I chose this because I thought this kind of resembled raindrops. Even though the Under My Umbrella stamp set does have a really cute raindrop stamp, I did want to add some texture to this card. So I'm going to go ahead and add my liquid glue and press this down on the front of the card. And now our basic base of the card is complete. So the next step is to grab a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock. This has been cut at 1 by 3 1/4 inches. And then I'm going to stamp this using one of the sentiments from the Under My Umbrella stamp set. This says, "No matter the weather, we're friends forever." And I'm going to stamp this in the far right corner of this Calypso Coral strip. And then I will flip it upside down and I'll add my liquid glue to the back. And then I'm going to press this about 3/4 of the way down on the front of the card. So now that that's attached, we're going to add a focal point right here on the left side. So in this stamp set, there's this cute rubber boot image, and we're going to use a piece of Daffodil Delight cardstock, and I'm going to stamp that rubber boot image right on the cardstock. So this is perfect for the people who don't like to color, because you can stamp the boots on pattern paper or on solid cardstock like I did here, and then the boots will be all colored. So then I'm going to just grab my paper snips and cut that out, and you can see how quick and simple that was. The next step will be just to add a couple dimensionals to the back. So I'll just press them on here and peel off the backing, and then I'm going to press that right there next to that sentiment. So now we're going to add a really fun embellishment. I'm going to grab my Shimmery Crystal Effects, and this is like a gel that will adhere to the top of the boots. So we're just going to squeeze the bottle and just spread this all over the boots. And it has, this Crystal Effects has like a glitter in it, a really fine glitter, so that when this dries, these boots will have a really shiny, shimmery finish to them. So I'm just going to spread that all over, and then I'll just, while that's drying, we're going to do the next step. So I'm going to take a piece of Whisper White cardstock. Now this is just a scrap, and then I'm going to stamp it with this really cute flower image from the stamp set. Now, for this project, I only need one of these flowers, but because I'm doing a series of 4 videos, each project I'm making is going to use this exact same arrangement of flowers. So let me show you how I'm going to color it. I have my Daffodil Delight blends. This is a light Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to color one of the small flowers with that. And then I have my light Pool Party. I'm going to color the center flower with that. And then I'm going to use my light Calypso Coral. I'm going to color the small flower on the right with that one. And then I'm going to finish this up with the dark Granny Apple Green. And then I'll color the leaves with this. So as I said, for this particular project, I'm only going to use just this one little cluster of flowers. But if you're doing all the projects in my series, it makes perfect sense to stamp all 4 of them and color them all at the same time and then cut them out. And then once they're cut out with the paper snips, then you can just throw them in a little container like I have here, and then they'll be all ready for you to use on your projects. So let me grab one of these, and then we're going to use this one on this card here. So I'm going to flip this over and add a dimensional on the back, and I'm going to add it kind of close to where the leaves are. And then I'm going to leave the other side of this image where the flowers are, this edge right here. I'm going to just leave that without anything because it can adhere on top of the boots. And remember, there's Crystal Effects on there. So that Crystal Effects will help to just bond that together. Okay, so now that's on there, and now we're ready to embellish it. And I have some really fun embellishments for this card. Okay, these are called Frosted and Clear Epoxy Droplets. And they come in this really shiny clear one, and then these that are slightly frosted, and they come in 2 different sizes. I'm also going to use our jewel rhinestones. I'm going to mix these all up, so it's going to be really fun. I'm going to start with our epoxy droplets. I'll take one of the small ones, and I'm going to press that right into the center of the blue flower. And then I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and pick up a small rhinestone and place that in the middle of the yellow flower. And then I'm going to grab a large rhinestone and put that up here on the top of the Balmy Blue cardstock. And then I'm going to mix in some of these frosted embellishments, mixing up the small ones and the large ones and kind of just cascading them down the left side of the card so it just looks like it's falling down with those raindrops. So this concludes project number 1 in our series. And of course, when you make this card, you're going to want to take one of the images from the set and stamp it on one of our envelopes to make a coordinating envelope. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this card. Be sure to check back for project number 2 in our Showered with Love series. Until then, aloha!